As we're learning, hopefully we're learning, when God encounters humanity and when he starts to reveal himself to people through the Bible, he's revealing his character, he's revealing his identity, his name, his nature, but he's also revealing something of his purposes and his plans. Remember, God created all things and he created humanity to be in relationship with him, and that relationship got broken. So God's revealing himself because he wants to restore that relationship. As we move on in our encounters, we see that Isaac and Jacob have died. Jacob's son Joseph has gone to Egypt and rescued people through the famine by his prophetic dreams. And Joseph has died, time has gone on, people have forgotten the story. The Israelites who had gone to Egypt have become slaves. And then into that there is a man born called Moses. And Moses has this incredible encounter with God in Exodus 3, where God reveals himself as I am, Yahweh, Jehovah. When God meets Moses and reveals himself as Yahweh, he also reveals himself as the God of their fathers, Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. There's this connection to the previous encounters. And God gives Moses a mission to go and set his people free. And together with his brother Aaron, they confront Pharaoh. And when Pharaoh won't let the people go, there are the plagues that come on the Egyptians that result in the Egyptians letting the Israelites go. They then change their mind and the army chases after the slaves that they've just let go. And they find themselves trapped between the Red Sea and this Egyptian army coming to slaughter them. And God miraculously parts the Red Sea and allows them to escape through and closes the water back over to destroy this army that's trying to kill his people. It's a new day, and the people find themselves in a new place, in a new start, and a new relationship with God. So here they are, standing on the first steps of a whole new adventure with God. God's rescued the people, he's called them out as his own, he's taken them back to the promised land to fulfill his promises to Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. And within 3 days of this incredible rescue that they've had, we see the people beginning to grumble and moan and wanting to rebel against Moses. Does that sound familiar? For those of us who aren't familiar with the geography, Egypt is next to the Arabian Peninsula. And when Moses rescues the people, they head east out of Egypt, they go through the Red Sea, and then he leads them down into the Sinai Desert, into Arabia. And I don't know if you know anything about deserts, but one of the most precious commodities in the desert is water. And here they are, 3 days into their journey, this whole nation of slaves suddenly finding themselves without water. They arrive at an oasis, and the oasis should be a place of promise, a place where they can find their refreshment, find what they need, but instead they discover that the water's bitter, and they begin to want to rebel against Moses. They want to begin to give him a hard time. Moses cries out to God, and God gives him the way to heal the waters. He throws this stick into the water, and the water miraculously is made pure and whole and healthy, and the people can drink. So 3 days into their new identity as the people of God, God does a miracle and provides for them and shows that the promises that he's made in the past to be the God of their fathers, Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, to be El Shaddai, the God who provides, their king, their sovereign, their Adonai, their Jehovah. He does this incredible miracle and provides exactly what they need. He provides them with water to drink. God is showing that he is faithful and trustworthy, and at this point he makes a conditional promise to the people. He says to them that if they will, then he will. And very often when we read the promises of God and when we read the times where God meets with people, he often says, if you'll do this, then I'll do that. It's part of that sense of God desiring a commitment from us, for us to do our part, and God will more than be faithful to his part. It's at this point that we begin to learn a new aspect of God's character. He's identified as Jehovah Rophe, the God who heals, and he makes this incredible promise to the Israelites, his new people, that as they trust him and follow him, he promises to be the God who heals their diseases, that the things they experienced in Egypt, he will protect them from. God's still the same God today, and his heart is still there to heal us today. And just as we see in this encounter of how God heals the waters in order to provide for his people, he offers the same to us today. There's this promise that God is the God who heals. It's something that we do struggle with, but God promises us that today as well.